good. Okay, so then as I flip over to the back here, I've got this cookies and milk. And then for day 9, I'm actually going to take this out. Because, oops, oh, there went my thing. Man, I'm dropping everything today. Just dropping everything all over the place. So here is the 9 that I'm going to use, and I'm going to just set this page protector aside because I've got here a photograph of my own, the cookies that I made. So I'm going to add that in on this side, and then I've got my wrapping paper for the back, and I just pulled this Mary piece, and I think I'm going to use that with the wrapping paper. So I'm going to cut those out here and see if I can get like a double page of cookies, my cookies and Duchess's cookies. It'll be the only time they're ever put side by side because there's no way that mine would compare. Although I really like my cookies, they're quite good. I am just not the same kind of attention to detail that a place like Duchess Bake Shop would be. So that's all right. I can freely admit that and not feel bad about it at all. So I'm going to get this one cut out here, and I have 2 pages to cut out because I had these ones ready but forgot to cut them last night. And so because there is a little bit of separation between this, between the cookies that I made and the cookies from Duchess, I'm trying to think about if I have something that I can place in between them. And I think I have a stray transparency somewhere that I might try to move over here. I'm just going to get these stars out of the way. I'm going to pull these little tiny extra pieces out of the Mary. I don't know. Sometimes, oh yeah, this one does. This one has like a little removable thing, and I'm not sure. You might be able to just leave it because it's not really that necessary. So I think I want to put the 9 on this side, but then maybe I don't want the Mary on this side. I don't want to over embellish this because this is it turned out to be such a great photo that I'm not really wanting to do too much. Actually, I know what I think I might do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these 2 together like this so that the cookie side is here. And then I'm going to make a pull-out tag that pulls out from the side. That's going to have my journaling for the cookies and such like that. Because what I want to do is I was going to label all this food with these tiny little gold numbers. Actually, I can do that now. That's not, don't have to wait. Of course, get it on crooked. And so I wanted a place to put some corresponding journaling about each of these things. And I wasn't sure where I was wanting to do that, if I wanted to put a tag on top of it. But now I think what I'll do is I'll put a pull-out tab on this side that will kind of talk about it, about the cookies that I've got here. Okay, so I've just gotten a few things ready because it was taking a little bit of a long time and I didn't want this video to get too long. So what I've done here is I've made the tag that I'm going to pull out from the side, and it's just a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper, excuse me, cut to 3 inches wide, folded in half, and then I notched the edges and punched a hole. So on the back side that has the wrapping paper, it's going to say Mary. It's going to have that embellishment come out the side. And on this side, I'm going to write journal about my cookies that I've got here. But what I'm going to do is create a little kind of latch almost for it so that it doesn't come out. And I'm going to use this piece of paper here. So I just wanted to show you how I was going to do this. So I've got that piece of paper and I'm going to use the red line tape because it's the sturdiest adhesive I've got aside from glue. And And I'm going to put some red line tape to kind of create a track for this tag to go down. So it's going to be on either side of it so that it doesn't get, it's not too wiggly in the pulling out. But I'm going to do that on both sides of the little strip of paper. And that's just a spare strip that I had from cutting out the tag and the photos. So you can just use scrap paper for that. It doesn't have to be fancy. So I'm going to pull this out from the side, and I'm going to attach a ribbon to it yet so that it's obvious that it's something that I can pull, which I think is great because it gives me another opportunity to make sure that I've got little pieces kind of falling out of my album. And you'll notice that I just double checked to make sure that my photo is sitting the right way, because I'll be honest with you, I have done this before where you get it all set and ready and then you do it the wrong way, and it's so heartbreaking because you have to tear everything all apart again. So now I'm going to adhere this tag as well. For this I'm just going to use my runner, although I don't see it now, so maybe I will just use the red line tape. Oh, there it is. Got it. So I'm just going to adhere it once on the very edge. So I'm not going to go all the way around this one. And I staple through and then just put some tape over the back of the staples so that they would slide freely, because I stapled my Mary on. Oh, it doesn't come all the way out. Shoot, I was afraid of that, but I didn't double check. So that means that I have to make my strip thinner. Okay, so after all of that careful checking, no dice. So rather than go through the hassle of a new piece of paper and everything, I'll just try. We'll see if I can get it all the way out with this. There we go. Give that a little bit of extra love there. Okay, so now I'm seeing that full Mary on the side, which is what I wanted for this side, Mary. It's not perfect, but it'll do for what I've got going on here. Now, as I attach the other side, I'm going to take my tape runner and I'm going to go all the way around here so that when I put the two pages together, it really kind of has a pocket that it's meant to slide back into, and that should prevent what you just saw there, that kind of wobbly, can't really get it back into the thing. And that was because I think it didn't have enough kind of guidance to do that. And then the red line tape on either side holding that tab in. So this will come here and then smooth it down as best you can around all of them, including where you kind of made that little pocket. And now it's thick, it's not thin. It's certainly not going to be an easy page. Like if you're looking to keep your album thin, I wouldn't recommend doing this. But I really like the big chunky albums, and I'm not at all worried about size this year because I'm in the ringed clear cover. I can make it as big or as small as I want to. So there, I've got the Mary coming out on the back. And I'm on the front going to add the same numbers that I did onto the photo so that I can identify what we've got here. And 6. And I just love these pages of numbers that Ali comes out with. These are so versatile and so handy that I have them in several different colors. So then all I need is a little bit of ribbon to pull this out with. And I'm just gonna go, this is a really busy big page, but it's got the blue napkins, and I think I have some blue velvet around here somewhere. So there's some blue velvet ribbon. I'll just cut those ends on an angle. That's the best way to make sure you don't get frayed edges, is to cut on an angle. And then I will go through here. Wait, what am I doing? I want to do the pull and knot on this one. So I'll put the folded end through. And then feed these guys. Now sometimes when you're handling ribbon, you will get, even if you've cut on the angle, you will get a little bit of fray. So I always like to cut my ribbons really big so that in the event I need to go back in and trim them down a little bit more, I have more than enough to do that. So, and you can see my ends got a little bit tattered here. And these really aren't the right scissors to be cutting ribbon with, but c'est la vie. So there we go. So that's got its spot there. And it will sit here in the rings. I'm just going to hole punch this and then adhere the 9 and it'll be good. So it ended up being a little bit more elaborate than I maybe initially planned, but I love the result here. So there's kind of the 3 pages for 8 and then the cookies on top of that with the pull-out, naming those cookies. And then on this side, I've got the presents, and I'm just going to adhere that 9. So for wood veneer, especially wood veneer that's on the outside, I do like the red line tape. It's extremely strong. It's gonna hold. There shouldn't be any trouble there. And so this is where sometimes the practice of foundation pages just totally pays off, because as I look over to this side, I'm seeing those hints of green and blue on the other side, the small hint of red, and it's gonna flow really, really easily into day 10. So I'm very pleased with how that looks. And but I want green, so I'm going to see if I have a green one left. I am almost out of those stars. I've almost used them all up, so I am going to have to be careful and use them, the rest of them, very carefully, because I don't have many left. Actually, I've got some green here. This will work. Oh no, I don't like that. It's a little bit too sharp. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna call it good. I'm gonna stop fiddling with it. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to over embellish it, and I don't want to regret something later. So I'm gonna leave it like that. If I don't like it in a couple of days, I might come back to it yet. But there it is for now, day 9.